Hey everyone, this is Karen Roy, and we are back for another episode of Life Possible with a Disability. And I am thrilled to introduce you to Heidi McKenzie. So she is a wheelchair user also. And it turns out that New Motion bought Spin Life a good, I don't know, sometime this last year. And so I found out that Heidi was recently hired by Spin Life. What's
I'm
your
a
title with Spin
merchandising
Life?
associate.
Okay. So she reaches out to me. Apparently, I guess maybe during the interview process or after she was recently hired, someone mentioned that I did a podcast, which I'm very thankful for whoever that was. Thank you so much. Because, and so
I
she, I guess,
stalked
checked it out and then she reached out to me. Um, yes. So I love that. Like,
you.
if it's the right kind of
Exactly.
stalker, I'm all about it. So you're my favorite kind. Um, so, um, so yeah, so she reaches out to me and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then the longer that we talk, we jump on like a Teams call or something. And I find out that she, in addition to her day job with Spin Life, she has been a designer of adaptive clothing for a good long while. So, the business is called Alter Ego, which she can explain to you in a minute and makes total sense to me. We had a conversation when we were preparing for this where like it may sound ridiculous, but clothes and fashion really does matter for everyone. And people with disabilities are no different. And as a matter of fact, I feel like it might be even
Yeah.
more important for us. So I will, Heidi, and Heidi, introduce us
This
to
is
who's in your
Mac.
lap.
He is my 11-week-old puppy, and he is spoiled rotten. So I am holding
Oh,
him and petting him so that he isn't whining.
oh,
But he's
oh,
super
so sweet. Yeah, it'll help our ratings. Like I did a video for work the other day and I held my son's puppy and I was like, I swear it got like 3
right.
times more engagement just because
Exactly.
I was holding a
They
puppy.
steal
So,
the show.
yeah, because they're like,
Yeah.
I know, right? That's what
Mm,
life makes life worth living. Anyway, so without further, then I will mention that I met another designer recently, so the whole like world. Oh, and then we're also sisters from the Miss Wheelchair America organization because you were a state title holder. That's right. And so I'm going to let her tell her about that too. So because for both of us, the Miss Wheelchair America organization has been
yeah.
sort of life changing. So, without further ado, take it away, Heidi. Tell us a little bit more
Hello.
about yourself.
Yes. So great that we met, and well, I stalked you, and then I was like, okay, you have to be my friend. And we had mutual friends that you had done podcasts with before, so I was like, oh, I already love her, and I
Yes.
know Heather and Allie love her, so all good in the hood and perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
so yeah,
Yes. By the way, all of those ladies too are also all both members now of the Miss Wheelchair American organization because she's talking about Heather Markham, who's another employee of New Motion, who was Miss Wheelchair
yeah,
Kentucky several years ago, and now Allie Ingersoll is the current Miss Wheelchair North Carolina, who will be competing soon for Miss Wheelchair America. So
yes,
yeah,
so
go
excited.
on.
And we're definitely gonna try and make it to Grand Rapids this year for the pageant, right? Okay,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I have another trip. I'm
make
literally
it
trying to figure out
happen.
how I'm gonna like fly from one city straight to
Yeah.
the
Well,
next,
I
make
hope
it
you can.
happen. Yeah.
If not, we'll make another improv.
Oh, I will. Yeah, when
It
I put my
happens.
mind to something. Yeah, don't
Yes.
underestimate
Okay.
me.
So I was in a car accident in 2007. Left me a T4 paraplegic. Um, and I use a power chair instead of a manual chair because I broke my arm. And so I have a metal rods in it and a metal piece holding it together. So I they didn't want the wear and tear to my shoulder. So I
Yeah.
occasionally, like when I travel and do different things, I will get in a manual chair. Not a big deal, and I can roll just not long
Hmm.
distances or inclines and stuff like that. Because, like we gotta keep our shoulder
Yeah.
strength, if anything.
It's huge. Oh gosh, yeah. I do lots of things to protect my shoulders after 34
Yes.
years
Oh,
of
for
pushing a
sure.
wheelchair for sure.
So after my accident, kind of figured out like okay, what am I going to do now? I studied fashion before my accident. So after, I was like, do I want to be that girl in a wheelchair, like trying to do fashion? And so went to Miss
Yeah.
Wheelchair Kentucky, was Miss Wheelchair Kentucky 2012. And believe me, I always have my pageant wave with me at all times.
I
Um,
know.
so went to Miss Wheelchair America, which was in Providence, Rhode Island at the time. Met, I don't know, 20 something other girls in wheelchairs from different states. And it was the most amazing experience of my life. It's what gives me confidence and,
Yeah.
everything to be who I am, because I know all those other girls are just awesome. And it's like, well, if they're awesome, I want to be awesome.
Mhm.
And, trying new things like
Yes.
adaptive sports and traveling and, going to different, I was,
How old were you
I
when you were
was
injured?
21 at the time in 2007, and then um,
Okay.
was Miss Wheelchair Kentucky when I was 27. So, um,
Got it. Okay.
and then from there, I didn't win, but it didn't even matter. You know what I mean? Like going to that competition,
No, I did
fancy,
win.
yeah,
I won, but I'm not but when I tell you that
right,
that is not the biggest
right.
prize. It was an
Oh,
honor.
for sure,
It was an honor, but it's this friendship and this sisterhood, and that sounds like cliche or I'm making it up, and I am not. Some of my best friends are these women that I met through the program and who I
yeah,
continue to meet, like you, like, and when I hear it's why I'm the state coordinator for Miss Wheelchair America for the
yeah.
Louisiana branch, and why you do it in your state
I'm
as
on the
well because
board
you're
of Miss
on that
Wheelchair
board.
Ohio now, and have gotten
Yeah,
to go to a fundraiser that Miss Wheelchair Ohio had and raise money for an inclusive playground. So she's already doing awesome things. Um, and then I'm going to the
that's
Abilities
amazing.
Expo with her in Chicago uh, in June.
I
So
know. I gotta
yeah,
put.
hopefully you can come to that too. All all
I know. I know.
the
Oh, the things.
but just I feel like when you have a crown and you're in a wheelchair, people just pay attention more. They're like, "Oh, well, what are you doing and why are you wearing this crown?" You know what I mean? It's almost more intriguing. It's like it gives you more of a voice
It is.
for people to listen. Yeah.
It's yep. It's crazy how it
Yeah.
works. It's crazy because like, yeah, because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. Like I was not a like beauty,
Right.
queen. I was so shy and insecure. Could never have seen myself doing something like that. But and even when I was first injured, my kids were little, I was like, I don't really have time to do that. And then also I don't think I saw the purpose in it. And then my kids were older and I was really into advocacy. And I was like, you know what? All I have to
Yeah.
do is like join this organization and win Miss Wheelchair Louisiana and put a crown.
Yeah.
And it was magical. News stations and
Yes.
businesses and
People are
it
so
yeah,
supportive
so it's a
too.
thing.
Like when you tell them what your platform is, and like they're just like, okay, how can I help? I want to be a part of it, and it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What was
so
your
it's
platform?
triple A, and oh man, they asked me this at Miss Wheelchair Ohio too. Okay, this was back in 2012, so it was um,
Yes.
acceptance,
Mhm,
accessibility,
mhm.
and I think um, mm, I want to say adaptive. It didn't ring very well. You know what I mean? It was just for
Okay.
the A
Yeah, okay, okay,
and
yeah, yeah.
the actual
Yeah,
words.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but it fit well together
Right.
then. Not so much now because I don't really
Yeah.
remember barely any. But
Yeah, mine was oh, and that the main reason I did it too is because like I already knew because my whole life I'd been fighting for myself and for other people with disabilities to get the equipment they need to stay healthy. So standing devices and electrical stem or whatever the case may be. And so I was like, my whole purpose in like joining, I was like, I want everyone, I want to scream it from the rooftops and, and yeah. So, and,
yeah,
so yeah, that's really cool. So you were saying that was pivotal. Competing was pivotal for you and giving you the confidence you needed to kind of
Yes,
start your own business.
yes.
So
So
tell me how
then
that
I
went.
decided to design a pair of jeans for people in wheelchairs. It obviously wasn't something I could quit my day job over, but something that I was just
Yeah.
passionate about because um, I enjoyed fashion and I wanted something designed for me and my
Mm-hmm.
needs. So my
Mm-hmm.
jeans had pocket on the thighs for easy access, the elastic waistband in the back, but also it was higher in the back because
Mm-hmm.
we know when we sit down, everything shows. Yes, um,
Plumbers.
yes.
Yeah.
I would
Plumbers
always
crack. Plumber.
say crack is whack and we got you covered was one of
Oh,
her
that's so cute. Your little motto. I know,
yeah,
because I struggle with jeans too, and then the off and on part. But there is the part too where they were just
right.
never
And
high enough
now I
in the
mean
back.
it's
And
great that there's jeggings and leggings and everything spandex, which tights are like my best friend. Because over COVID I had put on
mm-hmm.
the pounds, so squeezing in
Yeah,
clothes that
yeah.
I wore before is kind of difficult. So all the span.
Well, that's so funny.
Oh
A
my
lot of people
gosh.
had that happen.
So I'm currently trying to think of a design for jeans still that um, you can adjust
Mm-hmm.
to like your stomach because sometimes your stomach is bloated that day. Sometimes you took a good poop and it
Mm-hmm.
feels skinny. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's just so many.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Well, I have another request, and I don't know if you've ever incorporated this into your products before, but so for
Yeah,
people who intermittent calf, like for me, like getting my jeans down in time before like my bladder's like, oh,
yeah.
she wants about to start peeing. So like I'd always wondered if anybody had done like a Velcro closure or something where you didn't have to actually take them off, but you could
Okay,
catheter.
so my jeans had the catheter opening where it was like a flap where the inside
Okay.
piece was like longer and then the outside piece was like shorter, so it like
Yeah.
closed fine, but nobody really used it. And a lot of which was it
Mm,
was I don't know, it's challenging for me because a lot of people didn't understand what it was for. So then I was like, I don't know.
mm,
You know what I mean?
you took it. Yeah, I think it's very
Yes.
individual, right? I mean, like yeah, I also don't want to just struggle
Right.
getting them back on. I'm a
Yeah.
T10, but the struggle to get them back on is it's very energy consuming and
Right.
tiring. And so like doing that, trying to stay hydrated, doing that multiple times a day,
Exhausting.
it's tired,
So I
exhausting.
have a Metrophenoff, the small stoma next to my belly button,
Okay.
which some people have it in their belly
Yep.
button. Um, and so that makes
Right.
it easier for me because in the beginning after my accident, I always had these horrible leg spasms. So trying to get your pants down and calf and having leg spasms that are pulling your legs together, it's
Yeah.
like, okay, I would just get so aggravated and frustrated and it was just like I can't do this. You know what I mean? You can only take so much.
It shouldn't be that
Yeah.
hard. I know, right? Because I think we both have taken our
And
disabilities like
try.
really
Yes,
well,
you gotta
right? I mean,
pick
I'm sure we
your
both,
battle. Yeah.
right. So, yeah, yeah, right. So it's like that kind of thing. You're like, holy cow, people like, and I've said this before, but a lot of people see the wheelchair and they're like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. They
Uh-huh.
can't walk. And I think to myself, look, like if I had to pick between just my having a normal bladder and bowel versus walking again, I'd pick the bladder and bowel like that because we hide it really well, how difficult it is. But these things are a daily
Daily.
struggle
Yeah.
with clothing. Yeah.
Totally support you on the whole, would rather have bowel and bladder function rather than walking. Um, and I've met a lot of
Yeah.
people who've been in wheelchairs for years, and I think that's the majority thing now. You know what I mean? Because we've kind of
Yeah.
adapted to, ramps and not walking and everything. And
Mhm.
that part really isn't horrible. I mean, accessibility can suck.
Right, right.
Yeah,
It's all relative. It's
right.
relatively
I
not
mean,
horrible.
accessibility,
Yeah.
yes, can suck. But when
Yeah.
it comes down to it, yes, rather have function.
It's very
Yeah.
debilitating. It can be very debilitating. So we had a conversation about like about fashion in general. So about feeling good about yourself. And I remember I told you the story about how a week or so before I got shot, my mom and I went shopping for stuff, and there we were in some little boutique, and I just for the fun of it saw this red dress. It was like long. I actually feel like it had like a little bit of a train on it, very open back, and I'm barely 19, and I was like, you know, just like loving the three-way mirror, and so when I got shot, I thought I had to grieve the loss of like how I'm going to look in clothes, and that people aren't going to see the clothes. No, and I literally probably cried one night about like no one's
Right.
ever going to see the back of my dress again. Um
Yep.
and and it made me, and it's so emotional. So there's that aspect of like grieving it and then wanting to be as fashionable and cute and making
Mhm.
sure that people see you and not just the wheelchair. And when I went back to college, I remember being very aware that where I was going to have to park and drive through people and all that, I was going to be highly visible.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be looking at me like, "Oh my God, there's a girl in a
Uh-huh.
wheelchair," blah, 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 whatever. And I
Right.
always put on a cute outfit and I fix my hair, and that gave me the confidence to go back to school and to not be so afraid. And yeah, I just thought you
Yeah,
could
no,
probably speak to that.
I love that because when we first talked about like alter your ego and me telling you like why I did it, I mean, your explanation was like, yeah, I'm like, yes, exactly why I did it because you want to look cute. You want to be seen as someone fashionable and you know what I mean? Like having your own style.
If you were
Yeah,
fashionable before, right. If you were fashionable before, it's like saying it's like that whole like joke
right.
about like now I can't play the
Yeah,
piano. I
never
never
mind.
played the
Yeah.
piano and like that. If you were fashionable, yeah,
Yep.
if you were being fashionable before, you're going to want to be fashionable
Exactly,
after
yes.
too,
And
right?
a lot of clothes just don't fit us the same as they would if you were standing.
Mhm.
And so that cliche saying, like when you look good, you feel good, it's so true. It's so true. And
It really is.
I found that, you know what I mean, putting on a pair of jeans for the first time after my accident and being like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? I cried because I put a pair of jeans
Right, yeah.
and I
Normal. It's
felt
like, oh
like,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I got this, you know, and
Right.
something as simple as a pair of
Right.
jeans. Yeah.
That yes. I was super emotional the day we had this conversation for some weird reason, and I was like starting to tear up and cry because I was like, I don't care what anyone thinks or says. Like that might seem trivial, but
Mhm.
it really isn't. And to getting back to anything normal, because at first, like when you first get shot, if it's a trauma, or I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not that everyone got shot. When you
Yes.
first get paralyzed, um, you're wearing like hospitalish clothes, and you've got like these things on your feet and Ted hose, and I was like, these
Ugliest.
are the ugliest things I've
Yes.
ever seen in my life. I was like, I'm not like, no offense to grandmas, I love grandmas, but I was like, I'm
And
19.
I compared my
I
clothing to like clothing that was out at the time in like 2015 and I said I don't want to look like my grandma, but then I was like maybe grandma doesn't even want to look like grandma. Maybe grandma, you know what I mean? Maybe grandma still wants to
right,
wear cute clothes and be fashionable, which is
right,
totally true. So it's like
yeah.
um,
I'm old enough to be a
you
grandma,
don't look
so like,
at
I
all.
mean, there's that. Thank you. I totally, totally am. But yeah, no, it's really just it really, really important. So if people still like kind of tell us what the status is, I know like, um, can we still? I know you had some products still left, like, and I think you're still doing some designing on the side. I know your full time gig is
So
Spin Life
yes,
right now,
full
but
time is Spin Life. Side hustle is still Alter Your Ego. Still selling through like my first inventory that I had back in 2015. I just think the style or
mhm.
something just wasn't working. And So I
Mhm.
struggle with sourcing material and finding manufacturers who do like small minimums because I don't have that cash money to just go out and do 100,000 pairs. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I want them to be cost
Right.
efficient too. And I think that's another reason I wasn't that successful is because like I just wanted to give the jeans to everyone because I was like, these work and I want you to have,
Yeah,
and
right.
you get a pair of jeans and you get a
Yeah,
pair of jeans.
yeah.
So I was totally being Oprah, giving out adapted jeans to
That's so
everyone.
funny.
Um, so I want to like
Right.
do a different style, but then like a different material and all the things. And it's just the press time that is so, you got to find to try and do it. So
Yeah.
it's coming. I sell
Right, yeah. Well,
T-shirts that have sayings like "I'm in it for the parking," and I literally can't stand it because with my
that's
disability, I've always found humor as being something that I
yes.
will joke about anything. I have a dark sense of humor anymore, and um,
It's
and
hilarious.
whether people like it or not, I say what I want, and they can take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Yeah,
That makes me love you even more. So, like, yeah, 'cause as soon as you like, after you
yeah,
stalked me and then, like, stalked you back and you were like, "We need to do, like,
yeah,
some Facebook Lives or lives on Instagram or something like that," where, because you are definitely a
yeah,
soul sister of mine, and, I admire that quality. And, I mean, I wouldn't make it
right.
without humor either. At first, people can be, like, a little sensitive. I think as time goes on, you're like, "You know what? If you c like, life is just a series of,
Yes,
ups and downs, and does that if you can't make fun of yourself a little bit, like, life's
yeah, and
pretty miserable."
I mean, I might get some hate on this, but like people are too sensitive anymore. It's like not everybody's out to get you.
Mhm.
You don't have to be a victim. Like shake it off and go on
Yeah,
with your
yeah.
day because it could be holding you
Yeah, yeah.
back from something awesome, but yet you're taking offense to something that wasn't even pointed at you. You know what I mean? Like,
Meant
yeah,
to be if and yeah. And, I mean, people don't know what they don't
exactly.
know, and there's a place for, like,
Yes.
educating
Yeah,
kindly, and saying, like, "I just want you to let you know, like, maybe it doesn't offend me, but just to let you know, people in the disability
exactly.
community don't like this or don't like that, just for future reference." But if you're not kind about it now, I will say I think that, that's more so with people that
Right.
are, like, newer to
And
their
haven't accepted it
disability.
yet.
Some people
Yeah,
yeah, and then some people, it's just a
true.
personality thing, but I don't want people to be afraid to talk to me,
Right.
to ask me questions, like, because how else are
Exactly.
they supposed
I
to
always
learn?
leave everything wide open, and I am always more than happy to answer any questions and talk about it. Um, you find that other people are
Mhm.
more like scared to ask or embarrassed to ask, and it's like, no, really, I feel more comfortable you asking me questions and knowing more about me so that like next time you see somebody in a wheelchair, you don't act all awkward like there's an elephant in the room.
Right, yeah. Or
Yes,
or
or avoid
avoid
them
yeah,
at
or
all costs.
avoid them
Yes.
altogether, right?
So it's awesome because
Yeah.
all my
Well,
friends
so
have like totally opened up their eyes to people with disabilities and like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
right. Right, right. Well, and then like have people say this all the time, like my really close friends, or maybe they're like, God, I used to see the wheelchair, but I was like, I don't even see like
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
not a thing. Like they're not delusional, but it's not the most important thing
no,
about Heidi or Karen.
yeah,
It's a thing, and we're not ignoring it. It's part of my identity
yeah.
that I'm proud of now, but it's not
It's just
all
an
I am,
accessory.
right? I mean, um,
Our wheelchairs are
yeah,
accessory. Yes,
right,
that
and
we carry with us.
right.
So, yeah.
Right, and I mean, you know what? You can make it work in your
Right.
favor for sure
And
too
it's
if
so
you work
crazy
it
because
right.
like working from home, like right now, if we met each other, we wouldn't know the other one was in a wheelchair. You know what I mean? Like it's
Right,
only
right. Yeah, I don't yeah. That's why I'm back
yeah,
getting back to these in-person events where we
yes.
aren't just like this and like, I think visibility, it's great for
Mhm.
people who live in rural areas that we
Yeah.
can work remotely and do all that. But the but seeing us in our full,
Yeah.
glory in the chair and being seen in public and, all that kind of stuff is just that awareness piece is, yeah,
Um,
I miss it.
yeah.
And hopefully I'll see you in Chicago
Yes.
and in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Or no, Michigan. Sorry. Um, so okay, so if people want to get to your website, buy a funny T-shirt,
Yes.
which I'm totally going to do that, or buy some of this
Uh-huh.
inventory that you have, some of the jeans, or no
It
more.
is
What's the website address?
alteryourego.co. So ALTERUREGO.co. And I did .co
Okay.
because it was like new and up and coming, and I thought it was going to be cool, and then it wasn't, and it was like, oh, dang it, like, you know what I mean? Like, hit or miss. I was just trying.
I
It's
love
not
that
like
about you.
whatever. Like, I tried to
So
be
funny.
cool.
Haven't we right. Yeah. Everybody jumps on a trend occasionally
Exactly.
thinking you're
I
gonna
had to
be like,
try it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
love
then
I love that.
t-shirts are
All
on
right. Well,
wheelersdepot.com. So if you want to check those two out.
okay.
Yeah.
Wheeler's Depot. Okay. I will also
Cool.
put this in the show notes in case you guys missed it or you're driving and you
Yeah.
don't have a pen and paper with you. But yeah. All right. Well, let's keep in touch. I will
Yeah.
see you soon again. Um, and yeah, and in person, and then maybe we'll do another podcast, make this like a little
I would
mini
love that.
series. But first of all, we're so happy to have you in the new Motion
Super
family. I'm
excited. Yeah.
beyond psyched that we're coworkers. So,
Yes.
thank you
Thank
for doing
you.
this,
This
and
is
we will
great.
talk again soon. All
Bye.
right. Bye, Heidi.